Okay, John, I want to show you what I've got here for the DPR tour event package. Not going to have enough time to put everything together right now, but I'm just gifting you the grandstands and the logos. But I've sort of improved this since I did it for dogs. But when you load the package into your program, you'll see the grandstands and the logo decals folders. Same as my building blocks. The grandstands here, I've got 5 different building blocks. There's a lower member, there's a filler block for the back section, there's a combined upper and lower section, and then there's an upper itself by itself, and then there's an upper with no roof on it. So what you can do is you can drag them in, and just like the building blocks, you're going to Control D to copy things, and then you're going to stack. So for something like this here, you can take the upper member here, and then you're going to use V to lock onto a vertex, and you're going to want to zoom in on this, and then hold V, and then just lock that down. And so that kind of gets you how I got this 2 block, but this is going to be 3 stories here. If we V and grab this and drop it here, zoom in and make sure it's stacked properly. So now you've got 3 sections, but I don't know that that's overly realistic. In the end, I've done this here where I've actually taken the lower block section, and I'll show you how I do that. So just take the lower stand section, and then I put this filler on the back. And the reason I did that is so that you can then offset this backwards a little bit and give it a little dimension to it. But in the end, let's take one of these upper members, and this is just one of these upper lower stands, and stack it on top of this. Okay, and now it's not offset, so this is pretty steep. You wouldn't really have it like that in real life, so you want to actually drop this back a bit. And so we'll take more of these blocks, so Control D, and then your filler block should stack here up against it, and then you'll be able to take this whole package and move it back. And that's kind of how I offset it. And then you can take all of this, so then just either shift or come up from above and left mouse click to drag, select the whole thing, and then Control D to copy it. Or you could even create a prefab with this if you know how to do that. So then you have this whole giant section as one prefab, and then pick something to lock in. So the one thing you want to do is when you're locking these in, zoom in close. You can see I actually made a mistake here. It's not as tight as it could be. And so you'll want to zoom in really close and make sure that you kind of get rid of any visible seams before you duplicate it. So I would go back and delete that. So now you can see the visible seams are gone, and that's sort of a better selection. So you would probably go back and just delete this, and then duplicate the other one, and keep going. So you can see how quickly you can build a nice set of stands. The nice thing about just having these lower members is, let me just Control D that over, is you can, and Control D again, is you can then just build across, and I pick them both now and Control D, and let's see, move it over. Sorry, that didn't work there. All right, so we got 3 of them stacked. You can pick them all, and then Control D, and then you'll see now you're copying 3, and you can just be building pretty quickly. All right. Anyway, I think you get the idea with the building. Now, the one thing I've done for you as well is I've given you 2 textures, or 2 materials. So let me close this down. Within the grandstand meshes, you've got materials. And I did not make a normal map, so that's actually blank for right now. I don't know that you need it, to be honest. But what I did is I've got 2 textures, just a green-white and a white-white. I also am going to include that PSD, just as I've done with others. And you can go in here and you can alter the color of the PSD. So this is, you can alter the base and the roof, just like I've done with the house builder package. And so if you want the base to be, blue, I'm going to do this for hens. And now he's done. Now I just export that and re-import that. So I've made it same way modular, so it's going to be a joke when we come to Ryder Cup stuff and all that, blue, red, easy. I just got to give you, I'm going to put that in with the logos. So now that I've sort of built all these things this way, it's honestly just going to be really neat how quickly we can get some new stuff going. Anyway, the materials here, when you drag this over, um, it was causing an issue earlier. One thing you might notice, if your rails disappear for some reason on the building blocks, notice there are two materials. So if you happen to overwrite this railings, you might end up getting something that looks like this. I don't know how I did it earlier and I accidentally did it. You see where the railings go away. The railing is built by a separate texture because it's transparent. And so it's just a transparent PNG basically. And so in the end, if you had to fix that, you would pick the object and you see this element 0 is actually the railings texture. So you would drop that back in so you can see how you could fix that if you get an issue. Now, I think you're going to want to do something like this where you do green and white as a mix, or you could do all white if you wanted, you know, so you can just grab your white and then just keep dropping it over. I think, did you see that? See this? See that? If you put it on the rail, okay, so that was my mistake. Don't put it on the rail. So see how I'm dragging this over and I haven't let go of left mouse. Put it on the object, you know, the base, and then it'll be right. So if you accidentally put it on the rail, you're going to screw it up. So put it on the base there. Okay, so you can see how that goes. Anyway, I've got you, I made 6 decals for you. They're all from the exact same texture. So let me close down the grandstand and show you the decals. So in the decal prefabs, remember, I don't want you grabbing meshes. So don't grab these with the little white, you know, the blue box with the white paper on it. Grab these prefabs, and there's a, let me just show you the material for the logos. So that's in meshes materials. It's one texture. So let me actually just show you the texture. It's this one texture which is also a transparent PNG, and what it is it's a block of 3 white logos and then 3 color logos, and then so here are the 3 colored, and all you do is you drag them out, and then you'll see you got to kind of disappear and pull it out. You want it out far enough. If you just barely out like this, you might see some clipping or that flashing we see sometimes with some of the poorly made SketchUp stuff. So you want it to be far enough away from the wall. Nobody's going to see that. So just make sure you take a look at your scene and make sure that there's no flashing there or Z-fighting with that. So anyway, you can drop in any of these colored logos so you can see that. FedEx Cup has a colored one, and then there's a John Deere color one as well. And then the other, I've got some white logos so that they'll go up nice against the green. And so the FedEx Cup white, and then the CBS Sports white, and then the John Deere white. So I'm guessing this will suit your needs well enough to get you started. Obviously, I'll make TV towers, I'll make marquee tents later, this and that. I've just got some other things to move on to right now. I got to help Ping Zing with some of his stuff for Tobacco Road. But anyway, enjoy this, okay?